Lock and Crawl here. All right, I have something a little different today to show you guys. It's within regards to carrying a floor jack in your rig, more specifically for the Gladiator. Obviously, these rigs do come with a scissor jack stock, but as you know, even with stock form, using those scissor jacks, they're not very practical, especially when your rig is lifted on 37s. It's just not going to work. It's not going to do the job. Well, since then, I have removed that scissor jack and I picked up that bottle jack right there off of Amazon. It's actually my second jack. I thought this was more practical, the size, functional. However, as you notice right here, these things keep leaking. As I mentioned, it's my second one. So yeah, they're not very dependable. That's a 3-ton. The one before that, a little bit of a different design. It's a 6-ton. Actually, I still have it here. Yeah, this one's 6,000 pounds. But same issue. I mean, look at the amount of oil that it's been leaking. So, and I didn't use them very much, and I mean they're pretty beat up. So, anyways, on my JK over here, I am on 40s. This is the one we do rock crawl with. I actually have a Pro Eagle on this one, and I did pick up the Pro Eagle mount, and I did customize that mount so I could have it pretty much permanently here. I removed that side of the back seat. That way I could have it permanently mounted there. This works perfectly. This is a 1.5 ton. It's perfect for my setup. Obviously, my rig is much heavier than 1.5 ton, but if I have to replace the tire or whatnot, I mean, I'm not using all whatever this rig weighs, I don't know, 6,500 pounds or whatnot. So 1.5 ton works for me, and this size jack is perfect for my setup. The Badlands jack, although a lot more affordable, was not going to be practical for the amount of weight that I carry in here. And plus, when you're rock crawling, anything that's in your rig, you hope to God that you don't ever have to go through a rollover. But if you ever do, you want to make sure that whatever you have in your rig is secure. That's why I do have this Dirty Dog net, and I do have a rack in the back, and whatever I have back there, I also have strapped down. But this net will also keep it safe, and that's in case I do have the top on. If I have it off, even then, anything that I have on that rack is strapped down, just in case. And I try to keep stuff minimal, just anything that's up here in the front to make sure I don't have anything bouncing around that could potentially hurt me or even kill me. You just never know. All right, so I'm kind of going off topic here, but I thought I would mention that since I'm in here. Now, back to the Gladiator. So with the Gladiator, I did have one of those manager 20% off coupons off of one item. I hadn't been in Harbor Freight in a very long time. So I took advantage and I picked up a Badland. I think I got like $70 off with that coupon, so that was pretty neat. And when they first came out, as you all know, these things were sold out. I mean, they weren't lasting on shelves. They were just flying off the shelves. And now, I mean, they're pretty stocked up. So I took advantage and I went ahead and picked one up. I do have a couple other floor jacks that I use when I'm working here in the garage. But now with this Badland, this is going to take over one of those floor jacks, because one of my floor jacks is pretty old and is also leaking. And it just kind of happens over time. I know you got to maintain them, but in this scenario, I thought this was not a bad deal. And in addition to that, it just works for my scenario. Now, the other issue that I had been having to kind of figure out is how I was going to carry this and where I was going to mount it. And there's quite a bit of companies out there that have these mounts available However, I'm trying to save myself as much weight as possible, and those mounts are pretty bulky. So I came across this option here. It's called 911 Motorsports is the name of the company, and it provides you with these minimal mount. It's two pieces. It comes with one rubber piece to be able to cut. This is kind of one of them. I still have to mount this one on here with a 3M tape. And you put there, and the purpose of this is actually, once you set them out, the idea, something like that, I believe. Not exactly sure, but it's for the actual bar itself. There you go, like that. That's the idea. So it's obviously that rubber piece protects from it scratching. So that's pretty neat. Once I have it mounted, I'm supposed to be bending these over to the side. That way it's actually gonna wrap around the tire. According to the instructions here, it's what it looks like. And again, pretty detailed instructions here. It's pretty neat. That's nice. And you just use a ratchet strap. Now, it does also have, I guess, an option if you want to pick up a bike lock or whatnot, if your truck is always exposed and open to the elements, or if someone could come in and try to steal your floor jack. But in my case, it's all going to be enclosed, so no worries there. But as you notice, these tabs right here, you just fold over right there. So yeah, just with a bend on each corner, and again, that's going to go on each tire. And I'll show you here once I actually install these. But right now, I'm kind of going through around the truck trying to figure out where would be the best place to mount this. Obviously, it doesn't have to be here permanently, but anytime we're going on a trip, I feel much safer carrying something like this, just because you just never know. And it has happened before where we've had situations where we needed to use a floor jack. I actually used my Pro Eagle a couple times already while being out on the trails. So that's the idea. So what I'm going to be doing here is actually drilling a few holes. There's actually a few mounts places here where you could actually drill into. I'm going to put one on each corner for both mounts. And then I'm going to use these to actually put in. And then this tool here, I actually picked up on Amazon some time ago. This rivet, I've used it quite a bit actually on some of the stuff on the JK. So since I have it, I figured, you know what, instead of just kind of screwing some stuff in and trying to get out of the bottom and put some nuts in, I'm like, you know what, let's just do it this way. We'll use the rivet gun. So I went to Ace and I picked these up, and so these will do the job. I am going to have to drill just slightly, drill this hole just a little slightly, a little bit bigger, not too crazy, but it's not too bad. And that's the idea. So we'll get that started. Meanwhile, that floor jack, that bottle jack there is, I'm just taking it out. And again, it's going to be replaced with this bad boy. And I do have this is a rough country rack actually, and I had modified it a couple times. That's how I mount my Rotopack back there in the corner. And I have my shovel in the corner over here. And this is normally where I have my fire extinguisher. But if you guys have seen some of my videos, I had to use the fire extinguisher out in the woods. Someone had left their campfire and we ran out of water. So I did whatever I could with what I had. All right, let me get drilling here and I'll show you what it looks like. Got one more to bend right here. This crescent wrench works best. Look at the measurement there. Just bring that in all the way to where that line, that cut, I should say. And just pretty much give it a bend. That's it. There you go. I'm sure they don't bend these, or fold them over, I should say, because of shipping. But yeah, pretty easy. It's aluminum, very, very light. So this is nice. All right, let's get going. After moving the floor jack around a little bit, I believe that corner is gonna be the best place to mount it. The heavier part of the floor jack is in the back. And just to help with the load, because we do use this rig to tow, and we do load up the back as we're towing. So we wanna make sure that most of the weight is kind of towards the back, so that tongue weight isn't as bad as we're towing this trailer. So that might be the best spot in my thought, just the way we have and the way we use this trailer, or I'm sorry, the bed of this truck, that should be the best spot. And as I mentioned, I'm not gonna be carrying it all day, every day, just whenever we go on trips. And if we anything here local, obviously I could just come to my garage and pick it up, not a big deal. So I'm not gonna be hauling it around. But I just needed a mount to be able to travel with it safely. And I don't know if I mentioned, but the way this is designed, you use a ratchet strap to kind of go over the floor jack like this. Actually, they got a photo of it right there. So once we get to that point, we'll take a look at it. I have some extra ratchet straps. We'll just kind of cut to size and burn the ends there. That way it'll just kind of be a permanent ratchet strap for the scenario here. All right, let's get the drilling going. Okay, so before I start drilling, I'm actually positioning here just to make sure that I have enough space. But if you take a look at those tabs that I folded over, I did need to make an adjustment just to make sure that the wheels went on there without an issue. So that's really how it would stand. And if you see, the nut at the end of the wheel is not even touching. So this is gonna be the perfect spot for this. Now over here, I'll give you an idea. I still have to adjust these, but if you notice, I folded them over a little too much, which is not a big deal. I'll just, again, it's aluminum. I mean, you gotta be careful. You don't wanna be constantly folding it back and forth. But I'm just gonna make a minor adjustment, get those put on, and then mark everything for drilling. All right, there you go. Folded them over. Now they're positioned exactly where I'm gonna be drilling. That should look good. All right, let's do this. I'm gonna go and just lift the jack straight up, make sure there's no movement, and that's where I'm gonna be positioned, because I think that's the perfect spot for it. All right, so I started the holes here, and what I've done, I started smaller and I just been working my way up. That way we get this to fit in there, and then we'll tie it up with that, obviously. So here we go. So now I'm gonna step it up a little bit more. I'm trying to do this with one hand, guys, so bear with me. Just taking it step by step. There you go. As you notice, as of right now, this doesn't quite fit yet. So I'm just gonna make it just a little bit bigger. Okay, so that did it. All right, yeah, I didn't even have to hammer them in. I mean, you want to, at least if you're using a rivet gun, you want it to be, kind of tight, but literally could just push them in. Now I'm gonna use a rivet gun to tighten those up. And if those aren't familiar with how this rivet gun works, this piece here, I'm gonna screw it to the rivet gun, spin it, and then as I compress it, it actually squeezes in between the sheet metal. And then it makes it a point where I could just use the screws just to put right above that. That way you don't need a nut at the bottom or anything like that. So that should work. All right, let's get that going. Okay, there you go. So I went ahead, once you put it on, you screw it here from the top. You have to adjust this bolt down. And then again, as I say, you squeeze it. And when you squeeze it, it collapses there at the bottom, and that's how it squeezes in. So now that I'm done with this, I'm gonna bring it up. Sorry, I'm trying to do this with one hand. There you go. Now that's in there. And now the idea, this is gonna be here like this, like so. And this bolt will just come in here. I do have to drill a hole a little bit bigger on this in order to bolt this in, but that's the idea. All right, first one's in. Put a little Loctite just to make sure this thing doesn't go anywhere. But yeah, it's nice and tight. It's not moving, so we're good. All right, so just finish this one up, move on to the next one. All right, so that side's in, nice and tight. Yeah, looks good, real good. All right, let's get that one in. All right, so there's the final project. It's all connected. I'm gonna go ahead and put the jack in now, and we'll see what it looks like when it's done. All right, something to mention here. As I put this in, I just realized that the front actually needs to be in the back. You can't tell here off the camera, but this one's a little wider than this one. So this one needs to be in the front. Obviously, you got the bigger tires on the back and you got the smaller tires in the front. So I'm gonna swap these out and we'll be right back. All right, so I switched them out. Now we're good. We got the smaller one, more narrow in the front, and the one that's more wider in the rear. Pop out the floor jack here shortly, but that is how, there's the rubber pieces there. You mount those pieces there, and then the floor jack goes right on top. Let's put it on. All right, there we go. So it's in place. There's the front. There's the rear. That sits a lot better. There you go. Yeah, I think that corner there fits perfect. Now I'm gonna look for a ratchet strap so I could cut up and kind of use it permanently for this. Be right back. All right, so that worked out beautifully. There you go. There it is. So now I'm gonna dedicate this ratchet strap for the floor jack. That is how I mounted it on this side. The other side is, it's not twisted like this, but in order for it to be on there nice and solid, this is the way to go. And you'll see here in a little bit, it does not move. I mean, it's in there good. So now I'm gonna cut this probably about, I don't know, 3 inches or so, give it a little bit of a gap, and then I'm gonna burn the edges there. That way it doesn't unravel. But yeah, let me do that now. And there's the finished product. So I went ahead and cut the ratchet strap. I burned the end there, and there you go. And you guys, I'm telling you, this thing is on here freaking solid. I mean, it's not moving at all. It's on there. I mean, it almost seems like it's part of the bed. Yeah. All right, guys. Well, hope you guys like this. Like, subscribe, share. Appreciate you guys. You guys be safe out there.